Rizzi Police, Newcastle Police speaking.
I'm so glad you guys answered because Bankstown Police keep rejecting my phone call.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. Sometimes happens because they get really busy.
No, I've actually tried calling off 3 different mobile phones.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange.
Yeah, but anyway, because I've dealt with them quite a fair bit, and I know you guys are, counterparts, as co-is, but, look, at the end of the day, my house has been broken into quite frequently. Bankstown Police are quite acquainted with me.
Mhm.
They come around quite a fair bit.
Mhm.
I've gone for a walk today.
Mhm.
Come back home.
Mhm.
Find my fish oil capsules missing. An SF scratched on my front door.
What's scratched on your front door?
F. The letters F and F.
Right.
Okay?
Has anything been taken from the house?
No, not today.
Mhm.
Except for the fish oil. That's it.
Except what?
The fish oil capsules, yeah, which was left on my bench top.
Right, okay. Was the door opened when you got home?
No, it was completely locked.
Right, okay. What about windows?
No, they were all locked. Now, just to let you know something, I'm aware of that program, STMP, Suspect Target Management Program. Are you aware of that, Constable?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah? Well, I'm a target of that program
Right, okay.
for the last 13 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And now it's come to the point where no more.
Mhm.
Okay, no more. I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay.
I'm a qualified hairdresser. I've worked for over 10 years.
Mhm.
Okay? I haven't done anything wrong. Haven't broken any law. I've never been to prison.
Mhm.
Okay? And now I'm subject to this breach of human rights program. Okay? It's a breach of human rights program. Because people are innocent until they're fucking considered guilty. Okay? And I've been here for 3 years and I'm starving because they come and keep breaking into my home and stealing my food. I've had to eat dog food.
Okay.
Okay? Now
How would they break into a house if all the doors are locked and windows are locked?
Well, look, you're a police officer, right? So you know about audio surveillance, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, I've got audio surveillance in my home.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've left that in my home and I've caught them coming in numerous amount of times. And I'm no fool. I've analysed my neighbours and I've noticed how they walk and what noise they make when they walk. So when I listen to that audio surveillance, I know who comes into my house and who's not coming into my house. And it's been the same for the past over 3 years. And I've spoken to my housing manager and she's at a loss to help me with what's going on. I want out of this program tonight.
Well, that's not up to me to do.
Who's it up to?
Domestic violence liaison officers and government.
Okay, well, could you give me any contact or any direction as to sort this issue out? I mean, I'm willing to comply with whatever you guys want me to comply with, but enough is enough because I promise you, Constable, somebody is going to get hurt.
Okay. Well, what's today? Today's Friday. So domestic violence liaison officers will be back at Bankstown from Monday to Thursday, day shifts.
Yeah,
so
Monday, Thursday, day shift?
Yeah, Monday to Thursday day shift. So they will start from about 7:30, 8 o'clock. So if you ring Bankstown or Reesby then, or Bastille, wherever, we can try. If you can't get for Bankstown, just ring Reesby.
Yep.
We'll transfer you to the domestic liaison officer and you can speak to them directly about that being on the STMP program because they're the ones that actually deal with that and know more information about it.
Okay, can you please slow down and just tell me what was it? Domestic what, sorry?
Domestic liaison violence officer.
Liaison violence
Officer.
Now, where does this violence come into it? Because I'm not a violent person.
It's just called domestic violence. That's just, DV stands for domestic violence. So they're domestic liaison violence officers. So they're the ones that specialise and, with all kind of information regarding STMPs and that. They'll know more information and how to get off it or why you're on it. They'll be able to thoroughly explain it to you.
Because I've written to, the Human Rights Team in Geneva, and I've got a reference. Case number I've returned back to me. So that's also on their files because this is a major breach of human rights. Okay,
Well,
I know you're a good human being. You've gone to the police force to do the right thing. I understand that, but there are people out there that are doing these things to me, that are drug dealers. Okay, they're involved in all sorts of things. I don't leave my home. I stay with my dog, and I don't do anything. But yet, this STMP program is recruiting drug dealers. How does that work?
Okay, well, that's what you think, but
No. That's not what I think. I'm telling you, they're freaking drug dealers and they're drug users. They're all meth heads. Okay? They're all off their heads when they're coming around me and harassing me in the street and doing whatnot. I've been going through this for over 13 plus years, and I've reached my limit. My name is Andre Joseph Pitar. Okay, I live in Padstow. I've moved all around Sydney to get away from this thing and keep my head down, but yeah, it keeps coming at me like I'm some terrorist or some criminal and that I deserve it. I've never been to prison in my life. I'm a qualified hairdresser. I've been an apprentice. I've gone through all the hard yards. I've paid taxes for this program to be run on me.
Okay, well, I can't help you at this station regarding being in the program or not. As I said to you, you'll have to speak to the domestic liaison violence officer. So call on Monday and have a chat to them about it, and they'll be able to explain to you why you're on it, how to get off it, and what to do, okay?
Okay, which police station, which local area command would be the best to deal with?
So the domestic liaison violence officer, they'll work from Bankstown Police. Which if you can't get through, then you're more than welcome to call Risby, and we'll be able to transfer you to their phone line, okay?
Okay, look, I'm so sorry that I'm so frustrated, but for the past 13 years I've been subject to this. I've been stabbed, I've been homeless, harassed by these guys with cats on their face to intimidate me. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not scared of nothing. I'm not scared of the devil himself, but I'm a law-abiding citizen and I don't want to go to prison. But if this goes on for these 4 days with me, you guys are going to come handcuffs on me and take me straight to Goldberg prison because it's going to be that big.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. Hopefully you can sort it out on Monday, okay?
Okay, what was your name, sorry, customer?
Pardon?
What was your name, sorry?
The phone number?
No, your name.
Oh, my name, Senior Constable Cisco.
Senior Constable Cisco.
Yeah.
You going to unleash the dragon?
Pardon?
Are you going to unleash the dragon? I'm only kidding.
Alright. Well, you have a good night, okay? It's Friday night. Watch a telly or something. There's a few movies on.
I'm going straight out to a
Are you
car
going
after
to
this.
YouTube it?
Alright. No worries. Have a good one, okay?
Same to you. Bye.
No worries. Bye. Bye.
Oh my God.
So I took a signed statement from Pam, put it on tape, sent it to Buck Revell, number 2 man in the FBI at the time, who used to work for me in Philadelphia. He was the head of the bank robbery squad. And I told Buck and the FBI, I said, you guys, I said, first you try to get me, prosecute me in Dallas. It was right here in Dallas, by the way. With your investigation, 3 investigations and all. I was 2 days away from being indicted by a grand jury here, by the way. But that's another story, and I don't have time to tell it. Said, first you try to get me in Dallas, and now you set this girl up on me. I said, you guys are Bush. Now, for you ladies that don't know what that means you're minor league, okay? Guys that know baseball know that's what it is. So what else has happened to me? Well, I've had surveillances on me galore. I've had people planning on me, probably 18, 20 people planning on me in the last 28 years. I've had burglaries. They've come into my house, even when I'm asleep. They put a penny on the foot of my bed one night when I was there. One night I went to bed at midnight. I got up at 3 o'clock to relieve myself. My bathrobe when I went to bed was at the foot of my bed. And I got up and here ceremoniously laid out like a rug next to the bed. I've been a victim of cyber terrorism, threatening phone calls, hidden camera. I came home from a trip here within the last 5 or 6 weeks, month, I guess it is. I was looking for a file on the table that I had in my apartment, my house in Claytonia, and I couldn't find it. I was looking through, and I had a phone call, 8:27 a.m., and a male voice says, "Did you find the file?" They had a camera in there, hidden camera in there, but they have cameras now that the size of the end of a pinpoint of a needle. Had threatening phone calls, cyber terrorism, hidden cameras, my car's been stolen. I've had gang stalking on me, lug nuts removed. I've had flat tires. My window's been shot out twice. Both times I was standing near the window. I have had TV surveillance of me. They can monitor you through the cable television, by the way, even if it's off. I've had threatening letters, and most recently, I've been the victim of a disinformation program by a guy named Stu Webb and other individuals. And Stu Webb has actually put out word that I was kicked out of the FBI for practicing satanic ceremonies in the federal building. Okay, and you know what? After that disinformation came out, my speaking tours came down to nothing, really. I was doing a lot of lectures before that. And we have enough idiots out there that believe this off the internet, because it's on the internet, that it really affected my opportunity to get the word out. But this is what they had in mind. It's called a disinformation program. And then the most recent thing, and I will close in just a minute. I have 1 minute left, but I was late starting, right? I wasn't? I was, yeah. I was? Okay, well, I won't argue with you. Huh? Go for it. Okay, all right. There's no argument then. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. But the latest thing to me is I moved a year ago last May, a year ago last May, from Las Vegas, Nevada. I had a condominium there. I had next door was somebody I never saw, and across the hall was an individual who was a security guard. And I'm sitting at my desk, and I can't think. I don't know what's happening. I can't read. I can't do it. I realize that something's happening to me. A friend of mine came in about 11:30 night. Said, "You're sick. Call the paramedic." Paramedics came, took my blood pressure to get to the hospital. I had blood pressure of 242 over 119. And so I knew that there was a serious problem. I had blood tests, and I had arsenic and cyanide in me. I was being poisoned, and I knew this. Within 2 weeks, I left Las Vegas, called John DeCamp in Claytonia, Nebraska, and I said, "John, I'm getting out of here." He said, "Come on back. I've got a place for you to stay." And I now live in Claytonia, Nebraska, about 2 blocks from John DeCamp. Anyway, I was being poisoned. And there's other stories about the poison. They've tried to poison me when I'm driving down the street. They have a device that they put in the back of a car, and they pump the poison out, and you're behind it, and you can't, they block you in. Car in the front, car beside you, car behind you. But it hadn't worked because I've caught on to it. So, but anyway, I was being poisoned in Las Vegas in my condo, and I was able to overcome that. As soon as I moved, I just loaded up on vitamins and what have you. Okay, I was asked a few moments ago before I came on board, the reason for the terrorist movement, by the way, the reason for the terrorist movement is they create these terrorist acts. The government does this covert operation in order to establish the Homeland Security and in order to write the Patriot Act, take away our constitutional rights and civil liberties. There are prison camps that have already been set up. There are railroad cars, 3-tier railroad cars, and I've seen them personally, that have shackles in them. I didn't see the shackles, I saw the car. And there are big plans for the next terrorist attack, I think, to pick up a bunch of us as a red, blue, and green list and haul us off to these concentration camps. So, okay, now, thank you very much. I want to urge all of you, is there hope for our country? There's hope if we can elect Ron Paul. Okay, we need to get Ron Paul elected.
What you need to know. Organized gangstalking, also known as gangstalking, cause stalking, organized vigilante stalking, stalking by proxy, community-based harassment, and covert war, are essentially harassment and discrediting campaigns waged against a targeted individual. Citizens and neighbors are recruited to participate, often from extremist groups and cults, but also from among employees. Coordinated psychological warfare attacks, consisting of stalkings, noise campaigns, sensitizing and the spreading of lies and rumors, are executed in an effort to virtually neutralize and destroy the victim using people from all backgrounds and vocations to harass, track 24/7, sometimes organizing lethal vehicle accidents, poisonings, electronic harassment, corrupt or ignorant doctor diagnosis given to stamp the victim as bogus, mentally ill with delusions, paranoid, or schizophrenia, etc. Everything is done covertly and with a sophisticated real-time dispatching system to organize the criminals' harassments and attacks, often in the hundreds to thousands of criminals participating as a coordinated mob at any given time while the criminals do their normal routines of work, shopping, commuting to and from work, leisure, etc., using the method of moving foot and vehicular surveillance techniques, and computers, cell phones, verbal and visual cues, and every other conceivable type of communication.
Gangstalker, he's a perp. What's up, perp? How you doing today? Got his little earpiece in, tell him to give him his directions. See his earpiece? Yeah. Got his little wired bug. Yeah. How long you been stalking people, man? Huh?
Since I got out of the military.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Who's your handler, man? Yeah. Who's your handler? Yeah. The satanic robot for the New World Order right there. You need Jesus, man. Quit following people around that's illegal.
My mom.
Yeah.
My dad.
So you said it's only illegal to follow people to their home. So you can just follow them around wherever you want.
In a public place, man.
Yeah.
In a public place.
Okay. How much they pay you to do this, man?
I get a salary.
Huh?
I just get salary.
You get salary?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
GS level 12.
GS level 12.
Yep.
Okay. What's that mean?
It's a government pay rate.
Yeah. Okay.
You can look it up on this business.
So what you're doing is legal.
Yep.
So you can follow people around wherever you want to.
Tracking trends. Tracking trends.
Tracking trends. So you admit to what you're doing.
Yeah, well, you pay.
Well, that's good. At least you're you know,
Job,
you got a conscience at least. You're being convicted for what you're doing. You know it's not right, man.
So,
You know it's not right.
it wouldn't be my first time I get locked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. All
At
right,
least
man.
this time it would be here in the United States.
Where are you from?
I was an Army brat. So I was all over the place.
Okay. So you admit to gang stalking.
Well, I don't know about gangstalking. Gang, you'd have to have 2-3 people, right?
Right?
I'm a loner.
No, I don't believe that. You're not a loner. You're not a loner, man. You got a whole network. You got a whole network.
Yeah.
Hey, you know those people are going to turn on you eventually, right? You know that they're listening to everything you do. They got your phones bugged. They're tracking you. They're going to turn on you eventually, set you up for some kind of crime.
You already have.
Okay. Well, you need to seek Jesus, man. He's the only way. And she's a gang stalker too, right there. Notice that. She's talking to him. They know each other. You aware of a phenomenon going across the country called gang stalking? Are you a gang stalker? No. There's a gang stalker right there.
When the target is in public, members of these organized gang stalking groups will usually try to box the target in.
There's probably another one. You got 1, 2, 3. Look at all the people coming. Right there. Middle afternoon. They do skits. Look at them. All of a sudden you'll have like 15 people right around you. And you talk to them, you say, hey, how you doing? And it just throws them off. They don't even know what to say. And they get totally bugged out by it. There's 2 more. They get their families involved with it. This is New World Order, people. This is the New World Order community policing. Satanic robots for the New World Order right here in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. See? Yeah, she's waving. She knows. She's one of them. She's part of it.
Mobbing. Noise harassment campaign. A noise harassment campaign is an orchestrated effort to produce stress in a victim through prolonged exposure to significant noise levels. A noise campaign can range from multiple neighbors routinely playing loud music, individual stalkers with air horns or fireworks, or organized repair work that involves a high level of noise. This will include anything from loud vehicles, loud mufflers, doors slamming above you and below you, garbage disposal slamming doors, hammering intentionally slamming car doors loudly, loud stereos, stopping, at specific times, loud coughing, pot slamming, water running, cupboard doors being slammed, fridge motor running all night, power tools, etc.
And they do noise harassment. The other night, 1:45. See, did you hear that? That was the police officer behind us hitting his hitting his horn. There's a form of noise harassment.
The East German Stasi police, a system really comes out of the Soviet Union Cheka police. Again, the same idea. How does a totalitarian government control things on the street? Well, you have this cooperation between citizen spies, citizen snitches, who are often motivated by a little bit of money, or maybe they're given a break on a criminal charge that's the police have against them. In other words, you cooperate with us, we'll cooperate with you. And so you get a whole network, incredibly organized, vertically integrated network in which many citizens, often ex-military, often ex-police, often military, often police, often civilians, often bottom feeders. These would be what we call the perpetrators, who actually are carrying out the gang-stalking operations against the TIs, who are the targeted individuals. And normally, this involves at first a few years of surveillance, so that the targeted individual or the TI doesn't even know that they're being targeted. But they are getting, the perpetrators, the hierarchy there is getting a psychological profile on the individual so that they can figure out how best to push their buttons, harass them, get them to get pushed over the edge so they will act out. For instance, if they were to commit a crime against, one of their gang stalkers, or commit suicide. There's a lot of material on this on the web. I would tell your readers. A lot of people are speaking out about this. So there's a lot of targeted individuals who have access to the same technology that you and I do, who are putting their stories on the internet.
Alleged Burke Street killer Dimitrios Jimmy Gargasoulas has told a court the Illuminati were to blame for the fatal attack, claimed he was privy to the secrets of the Freemasons, and insisted that the government was controlling his life. Mr. Gargasoulas, who allegedly killed 6 people, including 2 children, on the 20th of January, 2017 by driving a car at pedestrians. He interrupted his lawyer's discussion about future court hearings, saying, "Your Honor, I was under extreme stress which caused me to have a mental breakdown." In a short stream of consciousness, Mr. Gargasoulas also said he held the key to Freemasons' treasure and declared, "It's not fair that my life is being controlled by the government. We must refer back to God's royal laws to prevent lies, corruption and death," he continued. "I'm very sad for everything that's happened, but it's due to the Illuminati," he said before the video link was cut off. Mr. Gargasoulas is charged with 6 counts of murder, 28 counts of attempted murder and conduct endangering life.
About what happened on Burke Street?
No.
The 26-year-old faced court charged over an assault and property damage from December last year. He'll return to court for those charges later this month. As he left, he refused to comment on his brother. Have you spoken to your brother? About what happened on Burke Street?
We are being told that the Internet of Things is supposed to be our future. Everything is connected. Everything is a data source. We are told this will make things more convenient somehow. Maybe, but your convenience is not what the Internet of Things is being created for. The Internet of Things is being created in a way that things will be associated with your name. So by looking at what the things are doing, people can watch what you are doing. The Internet of Things will be a living digital organism where you can be found any time of day, watched, identified, and treated like a voluntary member of this new massive database in the sky. Of course, the Internet of Things is a way for government to assure itself that your behavior is not in any way a threat to anyone in government, or if it is, to enable them to quickly pay you a visit in a forceful way. The Internet of Things will produce more data about you than has ever been collected. And the more data they have on you, the more they can take your stuff from you, the more they can do to you. To many people, this is an abstract concept, the harvesting of data and then using that data to track you, control you, and take your money one way or another. It is called monetization of data. People don't spy on you for fun, they spy on you for money, your money. I'm going to show you something that will make this concept a lot less abstract. You may not mind being constantly tracked and identified when you are at work, out shopping, or moving around town. But the Internet of Things is coming into your home so that everything you do in your most private places becomes a database for someone else. Government and corporations want to make sure that you cannot turn off the data stream and interrupt their surveillance of you, so they collect some of it through a device you cannot control, your utility meter. The big data farmers discovered a lucky accident. Your utility meter can be juiced up to collect all kinds of personal data from you in your home. Just by jamming some special electronics in utility meters, they are creating the most invasive and massive surveillance program ever undertaken in history. Imagine collecting the daily and hourly behavioral habits of every household in the developed world. The data streaming from your meter is not comprehensible to humans, so software companies are creating special programs to turn the data into a vivid profile of you, to analyze your behavior, and gradually build a highly detailed and revealing file on your life minute by minute. This software will reveal your personal habits, lifestyle, and even your personal flaws and character so they can sell that data to people who want to sell, tax, accuse, and penalize you for whatever they happen to see you doing in that data. Every utility company needs a very complex software package to analyze their customer data in this way. One of the companies that writes that kind of software is Onzo, a London software firm. Their software is only for utility companies to help them drill down into their customers' personal data and find ways to leverage that information against those customers. If you are worried about a backdoor in your cell phone, this is a backdoor in your actual home. And that backdoor is open all day, every day. Onzo made a short promotional video to tell utility companies how good their software is at invading the privacy of utility customers. If you listen closely to this, you may find it a bit disturbing.
We are Onzo. We help energy utilities globally to build better relationships with their customers, serve them more efficiently, and serve them in a more effective way. How do we do this? We take energy consumption data from smart meters and sensors. We analyze it using our patented algorithms and build a highly personalized profile for each and every utility customer. We then tag this profile with the key behavioral, attitudinal, and lifestyle characteristics that we identify. We even tag the appliances that we see being used in the home. We then use this characterized profile to give the utility 3 things. 1. Customer engagement apps that educate the end customer, build levels of trust, and ultimately reduce customer churn. 2. A detailed description of each end customer that helps the utility to provide more appropriate services and highly targeted sales campaigns. 3. The ability to monetize their customer data by providing a direct link to appropriate third-party organizations based on the customer's identified character. So, from a very thin stream of energy consumption data, Onzo delivers significant business value for as little as the price of a cup of coffee.
Of course, Onzo is not the only company doing this. Data harvesting from private homes is a new multi-trillion-dollar industry. Our Bill of Rights prohibits this kind of search without a court order or explicit informed consent from the people being spied on. But the smart grid is taking that protection away, and it will be nearly impossible to get it back. Onzo's business is to provide the data analysis necessary to expose your personal living habits to total strangers for the purpose of commercial and legal exploitation of you in whatever way they can dream up. In that video, they quickly brush over a few key points. In case you did not quite get the ramifications of this, let's examine one key sentence toward the end of the video. Onzo gives utility companies the ability to monetize their customer data by providing a direct link to appropriate third-party organizations based on the customer's identified character. Monetize means to make money from your personal data. One way or another, the money they will be taking will ultimately be your money. This is not a program to help you. This is a program to exploit you, to take advantage of intimate knowledge of you, maybe even to find something to prosecute you for. They are going to monetize knowledge about your character, personality, desires, fears, and personal secrets that should never be seen outside your home. They are providing a direct link to appropriate third-party organizations. That means anyone who will pay for this data. They love to tell us the data is secure and cannot be hacked. That is a lie. Anything can be hacked. And as far as I'm concerned, anyone putting a surveillance device on my utility meter is a hacker. I have not invited any of them to record my activities inside my home. A direct link means that corporations, government, law enforcement, and any other subscribers will have your energy consumption data as soon as it is generated. When you turn on or off any appliance, any electrical device, third-party organizations will know that in real time as it happens. You could get a call from a telemarketer who would know that you are doing laundry at that very moment, or that you just stepped out of the shower. Consider a fictional utility customer, Susan Smith. Susan uses her hairdryer several times a week at about 6:30 p.m. Her customer data shows that Susan has 2 small children, 3 and 5 years of age. When they analyze Susan's lifestyle data, they will attempt to construct a personality profile on her. The analytic data may decide that using her hairdryer in the evening means Susan may be a partier, may be a drinker, and she may be neglectful of her small children and an unfit mother. The software tries to build personal profiles like that from whatever data they happen to collect. It doesn't just watch what happens. The software tries to figure out what it means. But this is just a computerized guessing game. So perfectly innocent activity in the home could be misconstrued to incriminate you in some way, or at least expose you to some unwanted and inappropriate approach by some outsider. The reality is, it is no one's business if and when Susan uses her hairdryer. But by installing a smart meter on Susan's home, they are collecting countless private details about Susan's life, and they will have that data forever, and they will want to make money from that data. With that analytic software, your data is far more revealing about you, your family, your personal life than you could ever imagine. If you permit an electronic utility meter to be installed on your home, you are agreeing to be part of this program. You are offering your personal living habits and identity to be used as a weapon against you by total strangers. I believe that no one should be collecting data from our behavior inside our homes. If you agree with that, you will find assistance and resources to oppose and resist this program at freedomtaker.com. Scroll down on the home page and you will find free download document templates for legal notice of refusal of this surveillance to send to your utility company. Another website to help you with information and resources is takebackyourpower.net. Also, there are some links below this video to some excellent in-depth presentations on the surveillance, radiation, and fire hazards caused by electric utility meters.
When speaking with victims of illegal FBI COINTELPRO operations, we find a percentage of these victims are past or present users of recreational or pharmaceutical drugs, though many have never used drugs at all. The interesting thing that is found in research is that the drugs used, whether illegal or pharmaceutical, increase the dopamine levels in the brain. The modern gangstalking program is a mixture of the exposed FBI COINTELPRO operations, as well as unethical human experimentation that has a long history for the crimes so far exposed over the past century. As in the COINTELPRO program, this is psychological warfare. The tactics used are the exact same steps that were taken in the CIA MKUltra program. This program targeted large numbers of civilians in the U.S., drugging them, testing psychedelic drugs on them, etc. The first steps to MKUltra programming are isolation, fear and repetition. In the human experimentation projects as well as the COINTELPRO operations, we find local, state, and federal officials involved, as well as contractors, institutions, universities, both military and civilian, corporations, and individuals. Many of the victims of this program report hearing voices, seeing images, or actually seeing video-like images in their mind. Almost all victims report a ringing in their ears. DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, took over research of microwaves in the 1950s, at the time they were named DARPA. This was directly after the Soviet Union was said to be bombarding the U.S. Embassy in Moscow with microwave radiation during the Cold War. In 1961, Alan Frey conducted the microwave auditory effects experiment. At this time he was able to transmit via microwaves audio to a test subject's neural receivers in their brain. The test subjects in 1961 were able to repeat 9 out of 10 of the words sent using microwaves. In a 2019 article on DARPA's progress in this research, we find them trying to create a wireless interface between computer AI and the human brain. In order to accomplish this, it is stated that they would like to inject nanotransducers into the subject, raise the dopamine level of the subject's brain, and then use microwaves to produce F, RF, and DMF fields which would heat the nanodot injected in order to complete the transmission of pictures, audio, video, into the neural receivers of the test subject's brain. The technologies needed to meet the goals of the N3 program would have to move past current voltage recording capabilities and would have to include a variety of atypical signals like magnetic fields, electric fields, radio frequencies and ion concentrations per neuron. These signals and neural activity would likely have to be translated or decoded by yet unwritten algorithms. And the bidirectional neural interface must work in the context of a relevant application for the Department of Defense. This article did not state whether the source of these microwaves used would be current 5G, 4G, Wi-Fi, satellite, etc. technology that we are now all bombarded with everywhere we go in our daily lives. Every targeted victim I have spoken with that is prescribed pharmaceutical drugs, is prescribed one that elevates the dopamine levels in the brain. As with past CIA human experimentation, it would be no surprise to find that the medical establishments involved were again taking part in human experimentation. The radiation experiments of the past as well as the drugging of civilians is a constant event admitted, documented and reported throughout U.S. history. Bring in the FBI COINTELPRO operation that has again been operating for decades. Is it possible that this program, using criminal informants as it did in the past, created the drug epidemic that has spread across the U.S. in the past 2 decades? We have FBI and police informants heavily involved in the targeting of these civilians. At the same time, they are paid to repeatedly commit over 5,600 crimes yearly. Dealing drugs, breaking into houses, stealing, vandalizing, basically raping and pillaging our society with police and FBI protection and no accountability for their actions. So as this COINTELPRO operation has grown over the past 2 decades, we have also seen the dramatic rise in crime, drug use, which in turn has been a driving force to constantly hire more police to stop this never-ending wave of crime that continues to only grow, year after year. Heroin use in the U.S. was comparably low in 2001. After the U.S. launched the war in Afghanistan, we saw a dramatic rise throughout this country ever since. Afghanistan's opium production had been cut down under the Taliban rule, but after the invasion, even with the U.S. imposed no-fly zone, the supply of opium found a way to make it to the U.S. Afghanistan has been the world's leading illicit opium producer since 2001. Given the CIA's long and questionable history involving the trafficking of drugs, both into the U.S. and onto the streets of the U.S., this is a question that must be asked. Below are some of the methods used in the original FBI COINTELPRO operations. FBI used 5 main methods during COINTELPRO. Infiltration. Agents and informers did not merely spy on political activists. Their main purpose was to discredit, disrupt and negatively redirect action. Their very presence served to undermine trust and scare off potential supporters. The FBI and police exploited this fear to smear genuine activists as agents. Psychological warfare. The FBI and police used myriad dirty tricks to undermine progressive movements. They planted false media stories and published bogus leaflets and other publications in the name of targeted groups. They forged correspondence, sent anonymous letters, and made anonymous telephone calls. They spread misinformation about meetings and events, set up pseudo-movement groups run by government agents, and manipulated or strong-armed parents, employers, landlords, school officials, and others to cause trouble for activists. They used disinformation to create suspicion about targeted activists, sometimes with lethal consequences. Harassment via the legal system. The FBI and police abuse the legal system to harass dissidents and make them appear to be criminals. Officers of the law gave perjured testimony and presented fabricated evidence as a pretext for false arrests and wrongful imprisonment. They discriminatorily enforced tax laws and other government regulations and used conspicuous surveillance, investigative interviews, and grand jury subpoenas in an effort to intimidate activists and silence their supporters. Illegal force. The FBI conspired with local police departments to threaten dissidents, to conduct illegal break-ins in order to search dissident homes, and to commit vandalism, assaults, beatings and assassinations. The objective was to frighten or eliminate dissidents and disrupt their movements. Undermine public opinion. One of the primary ways the FBI targeted organizations was by challenging their reputations in the community and denying them a platform to gain legitimacy. Hoover specifically designed programs to block leaders from spreading their philosophy publicly or through the communications media. Furthermore, the organization created and controlled negative media meant to undermine Black Power organizations. For instance, they oversaw the creation of documentaries skillfully edited to paint the Black Panther Party as aggressive, and false newspapers that spread misinformation about party members. The ability of the FBI to create distrust within and between revolutionary organizations tainted their public image and weakened chances at unity and public support.